Yeah, it's just like my
What?
wife.
You were talking about what you were going to bring to the table tonight, and it was a cup of coffee?
And that wasn't, I know.
I'm disappointed, especially
We
being
are
in
live.
Colorado. Well, hey, live, welcome anybody watching us live. This is what we call, if you're watching live or you're watching the recording, which you could be watching on YouTube after the fact, we call this Stormfront Freaks Raw, because you're watching everything. You're watching the pre-show, the mid-show, the post-show, the no-show. If you're Dina, you're catching it all. But we're excited about having Karen Kosiba on tonight. We will get started with the recording here shortly. But if you're watching, thanks for joining us. And we were talking why Karen chose not to bring something good from Colorado, but a cup of coffee.
So many things you could bring from Colorado.
No doubt.
No, so I'm serious. You were all hyped up when we did your test the other day.
And then
Okay, I'm gonna bring something.
I'm like, what if I'm nervous and I just keep drinking beer and then
That's good.
half an
Yeah,
hour
that's the whole
later?
point.
That's the whole point.
Wait, did you say it was smoky in your place or outside?
Outside.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Wildfires.
Is that what we call it now? Okay.
All right. So what did I hear something from Brady? Brady was going to be on or not on, or what was his deal?
His flight was delayed, he says.
An hour. So I think he gets in at 9. So I'm not sure how he's going to do that.
Oh, yeah, really? Okay. So
I
Brady's
don't
probably
think
not
we'll
going to be
see
on either. I think Brady's going to get the boot. We'll find somebody else that's doing something with it. We are recording, aren't we?
We are. Yes, we are.
That's how most meteorologists find out they have a job.
Yeah, right.
Can I see you in my office for a second? Sure.
Hey, you guys, I'm here. Can you hear me?
There's Kim.
Hi.
There's Kim.
Hi, Karen.
Hi. Wow, everybody has like beer or something.
Yes.
Except look what happened to mine.
Whoa.
Not a
Was
good
that in the
story.
freezer?
Oh my gosh, the glass was, and then
Good.
I think it was because I put the beer in a Georgia mug. I think that's what happened, or a pint glass that says Georgia on it. Oh well.
So you're back to beer now then? Is that the deal?
I am. I said screw it. It's football
Really?
season.
Wow.
Right?
There you go.
Because I got my Bengals shirt on. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? You're a Bengals fan, huh?
Oh yeah. I have to be.
Sorry.
And a Falcons fan too. So.
Who's your
Okay.
college team?
Well, I wish I could say Creighton, but as you know, Creighton does not have a football team.
Yeah.
But I'll go for Georgia, but Ohio State behind that, and University of Cincinnati, the
Wow.
Bearcats. But
Very
yeah,
politically correct. Good job.
I know I have to cover all the bases. Anyhow, well, good. So Brady's joining us, or we don't know yet.
Well, I don't know. I'm thinking not, because if he's an hour delayed and he was thinking he was going to get in at 8, that means he's getting in at 9, which is right now, which means he's probably not getting home
Oh,
If he's in first class, though, he might.
right away.
right?
Yeah.
He might.
Well, so who knows? He might, but we're gonna start without him.
Okay.
Say I apologize, everybody. I'm a disembodied voice this evening, so I have no camera. So
Oh.
Yeah.
just have to live with that.
MJ's doing the podcast naked tonight.
Okay.
We just don't know that.
Look at this.
Again?
Okay.
All right.
So
I know Karen's
let's-
like, what am I?
What have I?
Yeah.
Yeah. What have I got myself into here?
I think she knows. Although she brought a cup of coffee, I don't think I'm gonna let her down on that one.
I know.
But here we go. So let's. Does everybody? Where'd Kim go?
I'm right here. I'm still
Okay.
here. I had to
I just
dump
gotta
my.
make sure you're using your mic. Tap your mic.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nope. So you gotta go to your settings.
Yeah.
'Cause it did sound a little echoey.
Really?
Go to
That's so
your
weird. Okay.
Google Hangout setting.
Okay.
Maz, tap yours. Yep. Good.
Okay, and then use default microphone. Let's see. No.
No, Snowball.
Snowball. Well, where is it?
Is that option not on there?
That's the
Let's
problem
see.
I had with my camera.
Uh-oh. I
there.
wonder what's going on. Yeah, I see it. I see it.
I see it. Let's see.
There we go. Yes.
Okay,
It
is
already
that
sounds
better?
better.
9:02. Are you
Much
ready?
better.
Better.
What?
All right.
Cool.
Good. Mute your phones so we don't have any ringing in the background. If you need to mute your mic, Karen, for any reason, if you need to mute yourself or cough or got a dog barking in the background, I think you have a few animals in your house, right?
I have an animal. Which is
Okay. They're at the top of the screen. You can mute your camera. There's a turn camera off, and there's also a mute your microphone, turn your microphone off. If you move, you have to move your mouse, and then a little menu. Little menu.
Oh, it gets on the
up.
side of my screen.
There you go. Oh,
Okay.
side. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, fancy. Everybody's mic close to their mouth is good. Remember not to bump your table or your microphone.
Oops.
Wow, what's going on with your mic there?
I have no idea. It's an earthquake here.
Little droopy.
Jeez.
Kim's mic's drooping, and
Mine was falling
Maz is in
down.
an earthquake. If for any reason, if you get knocked off, Karen, go ahead and just reconnect to the link you've got.
Okay.
And again, on happy hour introductions, we'll just get to the point what you're drinking. So,
If you
people
drop
can-
off, though, we will talk about you.
That's right.
I hear that. Or fire
Yes,
me.
we will.
Yeah.
you can watch later on the recording that everybody's watching.
And you guys,
Okay,
just,
so
just a heads
ahead.
up, I still have this cough. So I'm going back to the doctor tomorrow. So I might have to mute myself a lot. So just to let you know. Okay.
All right.
So you're needing a copay, or what are you asking us?
Oh my gosh. For the copay, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
okay, so we will get started. I'm winging it tonight. I don't officially really have a script, so I'll kind of be playing off of last show's script a little bit.
Okay.
I didn't have time to put one together. So go through normal introduction. Then we'll do the happy hour, introduce everybody, and then Kim, are you good to introduce Karen?
Yes,
You got her little
Yes.
bio there.
I do.
So Kim will introduce you, Karen, and then she'll start the questions off, and we'll just start shooting questions at you, left and right. And then sometime at the bottom of the hour, we will go to the lightning round. And after the lightning round, we'll take a quick break and we'll touch base then again. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let me get sound effects set up, and I think we're good. So, yeah, MJ can count me in.
Sure. Bring it on in 3, 2, 1.
Well, hey, welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. See, I'm winging it. I even don't know what to say. I've been saying this for 60 episodes, so I'm going to do it again. All right, welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the Stormfront Freaks podcast. If you are a first-time listener, hey, thanks for checking us out. We'll always encourage you to go to our website, stormfrontfreaks.com, and just check out our backlog of other shows with great weather guests that we've had in the past. We've had Reed Timmer, we've had Jen Carfagno, lots of great guests. So check that out. But this tonight, this is episode 60. This is the second in our series of Women in Chasing, and we're excited tonight to have on none other than, we'll call it right now, Dr. Karen Kosiba, who's an atmospheric scientist and works with the Dow program and Dow trucks quite a bit, so we're going to ask her a lot of questions about that. We'll also, of course, run her through our lightning round. I think you're going to like it tonight. It's great audience participation for that. We're going to have a chance to go through some of our WX3 sources, pick a few of those for you. And then we do have a new segment we're doing tonight, which don't have an official name for it. It's not yet sponsored, hint, hint, so we're open to that. But it's going to have, it's going to be some strange weather stories, Ripley, believe it or not kind of a thing. Obviously, that's a pretty big title right there. But always lots of fun. But before we get to that, I want to remind you, our partners, HelicityDesigns.com. If you're a weather freak, and you got to be if you listen or watch us, you got to check out HelicityDesigns.com. They've got all kinds of great weather merchandise, weather gear, great themed T-shirts, and other things. There's things there that they have that he keeps coming up with that I would never have thought of myself. But they, of course, have our exclusive line of Stormfront Freaks podcast gear, like some great shirts like Only You Can Prevent Weather Fools, and, of course, our concert T-shirt that they did after our 50th episode. It was our Lightning Round Tour T-shirt, And of course, on the back, it lists, just like a concert tour, every single one of our stops, it lists our first 50 guests that we had on the show for the first 50 episodes. So that's pretty cool. You can check that out at HelicityDesigns.com. And while you're there, you may as well get a discount. May as well get 5% off.
Yeah.
When you check out, just use the code PODCAST. So PODCAST. Go ahead and use that code. I'm trying to make sure he didn't change that. I don't think he changed it.
Is that a hard one for people to spell?
We'll find it. Yeah, I don't know. We were changing up a few times. I'm like, let's just stick with one. It's pretty easy. So podcast, PODCAST. Use that at checkout, and it will get you 5% off your whole order, which is kind of cool. So it's, as always, happy hour. It's always happy hour when we record this thing. It doesn't matter what time of night it is or what day it happens to be, but it is happy hour, Karen, and so we introduce all of our co-hosts so you get a chance to find out, hear from them, but also it introduces the fact that we like to have a lot of fun and drink on our show. We've even had someone ask if this is a drinking podcast. And I replied, yes. Yes, it is.
Why not?
So, Kim,
Yes.
Kim, you're going back to old school tonight, right?
And I love beer, and I love IPAs, are my favorite. But because of the diet thing, I was trying to stay away from things with a lot of calories. But again, to football season, I had to go back to beer. So tonight, I am drinking Lagunitas. You guys are aware of this one. It's an IPA. It's a good go-to for me. And this one's out of, it's brewed in California or in Chicago, from what I understand. So
it's one of the two. Who knows?
One of the two. I don't know which one. But drinking it out of a UGA glass. So go
All
Dogs.
right. Well, it's football season. All right, Maz, what's your football team of choice, and what are you drinking tonight?
Well, drinking, I'm back on the diet, so I'm back on the Mick Ultra.
Good old Mick Ultra.
Yeah. Plus, I went to the fridge, and my wife had a 12-pack, and I'm like, oh, sweet, I'm taking one, honey. So, team, hey, the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers, there's a frost warning. You guys don't know anything about that. Our new head coach, Scott Frost. So it's a big deal. Very big.
I can see why you like that. And then we've got our disembodied head tonight. MJ up in Minnesota does not have a camera. So if you're listening, it doesn't really matter. It's nothing different. But if you're watching, you're not going to see MJ tonight. We figured he's naked. Drinking what? What are you drinking tonight? Naked behind that.
Tonight I have a tall Captain and Coke. Unfortunately, you can't see it, but I've gone just back to a staple.
Well, he could be lying about that, right?
I know.
That's true. Can't believe you. Can't believe anything
you will
hear.
perhaps know at the end of the show.
That's true.
That's right.
When the swallows
true.
come back.
All right, and so Karen, our guest tonight, Karen knew all about our happy hour, and I hear she brought a cup of coffee to the table. But Kim, I'm going to turn over to you to introduce our esteemed guest tonight and get started.
Okay. Very excited to introduce Dr. Karen Kosiba. Karen's an atmospheric scientist at the Center for Severe Weather Research in Boulder, Colorado. She's a strong believer in experiencing weather from the inside of Doppler on wheels. I love that. Radar truck, it's a radar truck, and she participated in a multitude of field projects, including radar observations of tornadoes and thunderstorms, the experiment Rotate, hurricanes and landfall, the verification of the origins of rotation and thunderstorms experiment, VORTEX 2, and Long Lake Axis Parallel Lake Effect Storms Project. Wow. Just to name a few of the things she's done. She's also received a BS in physics at Loyola University, a MS in physics, and an MAT in teacher education at Miami University, and a PhD in atmospheric science at Purdue University. And Karen, I have to say, I've been a big fan of yours, just knowing what you have done for women, especially in the science field and what you have and your accomplishments. And I guess since when I was a little girl, my dream was to do probably what you're doing, and that was to study tornadoes and to figure out why. But I kind of went a different direction. I think a lot of folks out there are probably curious, how did a little girl get to this point in her life? I mean, it's just an incredible, incredible career for you.
Oh, you're actually asking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how did you start? Were you always interested in weather, or is this something that came later after your physics?
I feel like I should have some good backstory here. Because
you don't have to. Nope.
I know. And then there was this I think as a kid, I was always interested in the world around me. And I was super afraid, actually, of thunderstorms and lightning. And at some point in my life, I was also really afraid of tornadoes. And probably ultimately that inspired me to get into meteorology and study those things and to learn more and to really understand stuff and not be afraid of it. But I was pretty aimless for a while, as you could tell by my degrees in physics, which seemed like they should do something.
Yeah,
they should take me somewhere.
Right.
So then, somehow, some way, I guess eventually when I grew up, I realized that there's a lot of unanswered questions in meteorology, and I had some fun opportunities as a student to go work with the Doppler on wheels stuff. And I really liked the idea of working with that kind of technology, and then the idea of sort of designing my own experiments and going out in the field and actually collecting the data and getting the data that I wanted to answer these questions. So that's what I've been doing for the last 15 years.
Wow.
You're not afraid of tornadoes? Because I'm still afraid of tornadoes.
The funny thing is that when I'm like doing research and stuff, that I'm so absorbed in what I'm doing, like I am so disengaged, which is always horrible, like from what's actually happening outside of the radar truck. Like I'm so into like getting the data, getting in the right spot, making sure everything looks good, that like, I think I've probably like actually looked out the window probably like 3 times.
Wow.
Which is pretty horrible. Everybody's always like, look, tornado. And I'm like,
Karen, what's your role with the team? So obviously when you're doing that, you've got the Dow trucks, but you've got a number of others in vehicles as part of the team typically, right? So what's your role within the Dow truck? Are you trying to help place people? Are you checking on something else? What role do you play?
Well, it's evolved, but basically what I'm doing is, I'm trying to help place people. I'm usually running one of the radars because, especially for tornadoes, obviously you're, looking at where the tornado is and where people need to be relative to that. So I'm busy doing the radar stuff, and then also placing people, making decisions, working with my colleagues out there to hopefully get us in the best possible place.
So what's the biggest group you've had that you guys have been a part of all these projects you've been in?
Yeah, I mean, Vortex 2 is big, like not just our group, but like, outside all these different groups there. So Vortex 2 had a lot of people in it, 100 plus. I did this project called Pecan, which also had like 100 plus people. But for our group, for CSWR, it just depends on the project, but sometimes, suddenly we have 30 people that I'm responsible for.
Wow.
During a project like that, because we have, 3 radar trucks, 4 mesonettes and stuff like that.
So where are the trucks tonight?
They might be in Panama, actually.
What?
I'm not
Panama.
exactly, yes. So we're doing a project this fall in Argentina called Relampago. And a week ago, we loaded the trucks up in Houston, and they're on a boat headed towards Buenos Aires. So I think last I heard they were somewhere near Panama.
Oh my God. So are you guys are going to be doing the research with that, or they're going to be using it, their government, or how's that working?
We're actually doing the research. So we do all these different types of projects. I mean, some of these projects that I've done, I'm just what we call project science, not just, but it's not my research. I'm just helping to make sure that the radars are out there and ready and all that kind of stuff, which is fun because it's fun to see all these different types of weather phenomena that I'm not necessarily studying. But Relampago, we're actually scientists in that project as well. So we're bringing out our stuff, but also we have a scientific interest in getting data out there.
Wow.
So if it's on a boat, like how much insurance do you have to put on that thing?
If that boat sinks, are you wondering what happens?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we got 2 left.
No, they're all on there. All of our
they're
stuff
all-
is on there. Yes.
Ooh.
We have nothing in Boulder right now. Well, we have one radar truck in Boulder. We're actually building a new radar that we're trying to get out there. It's a bit fast, but we're going to do it.
What kind of radar is it?
It's going to be so the Doppler on wheels, the Dow ones that we've been routinely operating are X-band radars. So they have a 3.5 centimeter wavelength, and they're good for a lot of things. So they're good for studying tornadoes, and they're kind of a good mix for seeing small scale stuff and somewhat larger scale stuff. But at a certain point, they attenuate. So you can't see sometimes, back of supercell thunderstorms, or if you're doing this big project with these MCSs, these really big rainy things, you can't, see the whole thing really well. So the C-band radar, which is a 5 centimeter wavelength radar, is also going to be on a truck, but it has a really cool design where normally the antenna is just fixed on the pedestal and we can get down the road no problem. But in order to get the same beam width with the C-band, so with this 5 centimeter radar, we have this antenna that we actually assemble in the field. So we have this really big, 12-foot antenna that you can't drive with, but it comes in 2 pieces. And then once we put the radar there, we'll basically assemble the antenna with a crane.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it'll be pretty cool.
How long does that take?
I don't know. We're building it right now.
That doesn't sound overly mobile.
It's deployable. So the idea basically is, you wouldn't go tornado chasing with it, but something for like a hurricane or something, where you have 2 or 3 hours to set up the radar. You could set it up in 2 or 3 hours, keep it there, and then disassemble it, 2 or 3 hours again.
So, Dr. Kosiba, do you explain to everybody, when you take the Dow out, is that something that's already, like you're only doing some kind of specific research, or do you just on a chase day take it out there and see if you can get a tornado?
No, and I know people always think that. We do have some flexibility with the way a couple of free, weeks or a month a year that we could sort of do what we want with it. But basically what they are right now is the National Science Foundation. They're part of their observable network. So us, just like any other researcher out there, actually has to request to use them. So if we wanted to use the DAOs for, tornado chasing or hurricanes, we actually have to ask to use them and put together a proposal.
Who else would be using them?
There's other projects that are going on. There's a lot of different projects that people request them for, just different researchers at different universities. And if they're not being used, which, they're usually, during a year, we're pretty busy, and this has been a pretty busy year, but you have to have money and stuff to take them out, so it's like, we can't just spend our money on whatever we want to do.
It's not like going to the library and checking out a book, right?
No.
Take the Dow out.
I think I'll take the Dow out now. No, there's a review process for that. But yes, so we are also subject to that as well.
Have you been a part of the VORTEX Southeast project?
I personally have as a scientist, but we have not bringing out our radars to that project. So maybe in future years we'll be doing that.
So so who's doing that then?
So
who's providing the vehicles?
I can give you this big long explanation of how VORTEX SE works. But the super short explanation is that VORTEX SE is NOAA sponsored. So we are NSF sponsored, our vehicles. So actually NOAA would have to pay a little bit to take out our vehicles. So places like the National Severe Storms Lab, they have a NOXP radar, an X-band radar, and there's a bunch of NOAA sponsored stuff out there that are getting some funding. And then Kevin Knupp at the University of Alabama, he has a mobile radar and some mobile systems. So,
were you a part of the original VORTEX project?
God, I'm not that old. No.
I didn't know maybe at what point you came into all that. But.
No. And actually, in all fairness, I probably could have been a college student, but no, I was not part of the original.
Okay. So what years was that?
96 and 97, I think, or 97 and 98, something like that. I think those are.
Phil, you're trying to guess her age. Knock it off.
No, not at all. I'm trying to really figure out when that was, because truthfully, I didn't think it was that long ago. And when you say late 90s, to me, that's not that long ago.
Yeah.
So that's my apologies.
Okay, so tell us about the. I was interested about the lake effect. What you guys are doing with that project.
Yeah, so the original project, actually the one you named, obviously up in upstate New York on Lake Ontario and also Lake Erie, they got a lot of lake effect snow up there. And the real fun thing about that is that in terms of stuff that you don't know about, is that they don't have really good radar coverage up there. So they actually don't really see these bands that well. They do see them, and some of them in some places they don't see. So really understanding more about some of this band formation, how it interacts with all these, with the lake, but also sort of the upstream environment. And everybody's probably heard of the Tug Plateau. I think that keeps making the news now recently, and every winter it seems like the Tug is breaking their records. So looking at that, so the original project was Scott Steiger at the University of whatever's up there, Oswego, New York. And it was just him, and it was a single radar. And then a few years ago, we did a project called Owls. And I'm not going to remember what the acronym stands for, but it was a much bigger project and it had a lot more investigators in it. One sort of Scott Steiger, not proved, but sort of showed that the radars were really good for seeing this stuff. So then we brought up 3 of our radars: University of Wyoming, King Air, and a bunch of other instruments. So that was a pretty decent sized project with a lot of different scientists involved, including ourselves. And sadly, I mean, my interest in that was not sadly, but I like things that rotate. And these lake effect bands actually have a lot of what we call mesovortices in them, which, although they look cute on radar, for the most part, they're pretty benign.
Oh my gosh. So I'm assuming that tornado. Well, most weather people have some kind of a favorite weather phenomenon. So I'm assuming tornadoes is yours.
Yeah, I think tornadoes is mine. I like hurricanes too. But just because there's a lot of things you don't know about both, like not you, but a lot that people don't know about tornadoes and hurricanes. So no, they're just interesting in the sense that like it's challenging to observe them, and then there's just challenging questions out there. So it's but it's also sort of incremental, moving science forward in these things.
Right.
Anything interesting you about Hawaii right now?
I mean, they're going to get outer rain bands probably.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I mean, obviously that's interesting in some ways, but it doesn't look like they're going to get a direct hit, at least right now. No. At least by the eye wall, I should. When I say direct hit, I'm probably very picky about what that means.
Yeah. Plus Panama to Hawaii. That's going to be a tough time.
Yeah, that's a tough time to get there.
Turn them around.
Although they're on a boat, so we could actually get the eye wall.
So tell us, Karen, a little bit. Obviously, your background and some of the storms and tornadoes, and what have been some of the most memorable ones for you?
This one time I was in a radar truck, and
it's the same story, huh?
There was a screen with all these colors on it, and it got a little windy.
I mean, there had to have been like with these teams, right? All these teams that you've got, there's got to be some high pressure situations where you're putting people.
There has been, and I'm being a little facetious.
God, just remind me not to be a part of your project when you're watching you're watching the radar. Jeez.
No, it's good because I'm watching it. You want me doing that.
That's true. That's very
you don't
true.
want me being like, oh, and then there's this cloud and blah.
So it's stress. Think stress, or then maybe you don't get stressed out. I don't know what could have been some exciting moments.
There's been probably two standout tornado ones, and hurricane ones are always stressful. Hurricanes are stressful from start to finish.
Wow.
Really?
Why?
Hurricanes are super stressful. I'll go back to tornadoes, but hurricanes, just because I guess everybody's, it's hurricane season. So we did Harvey, and that was stressful in the sense that it was really windy. And that was probably the first hurricane that I'd been in. I've done 8 hurricanes I've been in. And that was the first one that the wind was actually more interesting, in the sense that, we actually were getting, wind gusts. I think our peak wind gust there was 143 miles per hour.
Oh my gosh.
Where we were at. So, so that was interesting. But the one that probably there was a Hurricane Isaac, back in whenever. This was like a non-hurricane almost. And we decided, since it was a non-hurricane, to just go for it. Yeah. So there's this peninsula under New Orleans. I can't even think of the name of it, where the Mississippi River goes down. It's basically all swamp. And there's levees. So there's the Mississippi River, and then there's levees on either side. And basically we're let's just go far down. And for hurricanes, what we're looking at when we deploy is we're always trying to decide, how close can we get to the coast, and basically not get surged. So, surge is a huge problem in hurricanes, and especially the places that we want to deploy. But we thought this was a not interesting hurricane, so we went way down this peninsula, and we deployed on a levee. And the hurricane was slow and big, and all the models that we looked at, all these forecast models, all these flood forecast models, really just underpredicted the storm surge. And that actually was a storm, I think, that really made the Hurricane Center look at, the storm surge forecast stuff, because we give ourselves obviously a lot of room. We don't just give ourselves a foot, but it was getting pretty close. So it was pretty nerve wracking. A boat became unhinged and was sort of floating towards us during the hurricane. So again, it wasn't really windy, but it was windy in the sense it was a hurricane, but the water, and we kind of, and the emergency management officials, they knew we were down there, and they kept calling us, and their tidal gauges, they kept getting all these tidal gauge measurements, and they're like, it says, whatever, 13 feet. They're like, that can't possibly be right, is it? And I'm like, oh, yeah. Yep, it's right. It's right. Wow. Looks right. It's pretty high. It's, So we were a little worried that it might top the levee that we were on. And eventually, after the storm, the levee north of us broke. And we were basically refugees at a fire station for a couple of days down there.
Oh my gosh. So do you guys have limits on how far you'll go? I mean, into the storm or?
Well, I mean, what we're trying to do is we are really trying to get, the right front quadrant of the eye wall. So we're trying to get the nastiest winds that are coming ashore. And it's always an iterative process. I mean, it really is. So myself and my colleague, Josh Worman, we're always back and forth. I mean, he always plays, devil's advocate on me. Oh my God, like, let's go out on a barrier island. And I'm always like, oh my God, like, let's, deploy 50 miles inland. And somehow, we're doing this. We, converge on, I think, what's a sense of, a place that makes sense to deploy. So it does start out sort of funny where we're both, because he knows I'm sort of conservative and I know he's, on the other end. So we're both, and then we also, both just go extreme about it. But again, sorry, go ahead.
What are the trucks rated for wind? Because you've been talking a lot about winds. I'm like,
They survived 143 mile an hour gust. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they're rated for wind. I mean,
they're
obviously,
heavy.
Yeah, they're high.
That helps.
They weigh 26,000 pounds. They're big, heavy trucks. I mean, in the
mileage.
hurricane, they get horrible gas mileage. In Hurricane Harvey, we sort of actually did a slightly dumb thing, is that we deployed at an airport, which is one of our places we kind of like to deploy because it's a nice, flat, open area. Yeah. But some of the airport buildings, because it actually ended up being a wind event, came apart. So there was a little bit of, debris that actually took out some of our anemometers at a certain point. But again, the trucks are heavy and hard, and they're good.
Did Noah know about that? Because they're on line 1 right now.
Yeah, they're calling. They're calling. Hey, so a question. You brought up Dr. Josh Worman. You guys were a part of the Discovery Channel Storm Chasers TV series. Give me one word to describe your experience with that production.
One word.
What do you think?
Can I give you more than one word?
Yeah, sure. What the hell? We're crazy. We're wild and crazy. Let's go nuts.
Let's go crazy. It was good. In some ways, it was good. I mean, there was, those were years that we didn't have a lot of NSF funding. A lot of times, we're trying to, be creative and find other ways to get funded to do stuff. And we're trying to do different things for hurricanes and insurance companies. For me, I mean, the funny thing is, for me, I was a graduate student when that happened, actually. So they were having a hard time placing, quote unquote, the Karen character. I mean, not the Karen character, but the female meteorologist character, because I guess I don't know what they were thinking, because I think they wanted somebody that maybe asked more questions, or maybe like wanted to fight more with people, or so. I mean, it's TV, right? I mean, or scream or something. I mean, but I was a graduate student and I didn't really know I was going to end up working, with Josh. So, I mean, you kind of wanted to impress people. I mean, and, people that I'd be applying for jobs, would probably be like, really? Oh, we didn't know what a tornado was? Like, or, I mean, we're like, oh God, you were really quarrelsome. Like,
so how'd you play it? So you went into it saying, okay, I'm going to play it this way. How'd you play?
Yeah, I went into it.
How'd you play your own character?
I went into it being probably really quiet, and they're like, yeah, no. and then they were just never able to find kind of that person that they were looking for. I mean, so then it was just every season, like a new female of some sort came in, and they never tried another female meteorologist again. So, I mean, it was fine. Again, it was good. I mean, and probably in later years.
They could never replace you. That was probably
yeah, that's what I meant to say. I mean, I think if it was now or something, I would have been a different, person on camera. I mean, I would have been probably more free with stuff. Like, no. But like, I mean,
what? So yeah. So how would you play it today? How would you play your character of Karen Kosiba?
I think I'd be more me, and I probably would be quarrelsome. I mean, sometimes, because I do disagree with stuff, and I am more vocal than I was. I was probably really afraid of looking stupid. So
yeah, you're probably more confident now.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just pictured, like I said, applying for jobs, and people are like, "Oh, wow, remember that time you asked that really dumb question?"
Right. Yeah, you have to think about that. Absolutely.
So
And now you're on this show, which is recorded as well. So you
I
use that on your resume.
I come a long way.
Use
I think
that on-
ultimately, I didn't want to say bad. I mean, so it was a mixed thing with Discovery Channel, but I mean, I think ultimately it was a good thing. It just wasn't for me the right time to be
Sure.
probably
Yeah.
that person.
So,
Good
so
save.
tell,
Good save.
so tell our listeners how they can follow you on social media, how they can find out what you're up to.
I have a Twitter account that I don't really know how to use.
You're not sure if you have it?
Well, it's like I go through these phases and like I don't even know how to. Sometimes I'm like I don't really know how to retweet. I'm like or with a comment or like and then I go off it for months and then I come on and I'm like so yeah, Karen Kosiba. It's really
That's
original.
it, huh?
Just
Okay.
don't do voice to text. I'm telling you right now.
It's easy to find. All right. Well, it is definitely time for lightning round. This is our game show of fun and brilliant questions for our guest. We have the joy tonight. We're going to bring back an old one that we call head to head. Yeah. So I think last time we played this, I'm thinking
I don't
back.
remember it.
Yeah, I think we
don't
played this with Catherine Prosiv.
Oh, okay.
From the Weather Channel, and it was we did Rolling Stone's top 100 guitar players. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we
Oh,
figured
yeah.
we'd pull something similar back. I read something, Karen, where
Oh, no.
you were a fan of TV. You like to watch TV,
I do, but not live TV.
not live.
Not
Okay,
Like
so
old stuff.
Oh, yeah.
old stream.
VHS
Okay, well,
TV.
here's the thing. This might still work.
Okay.
But I pulled up. We did Rolling Stone last time. I thought, well, hell, let's do Rolling Stone again. So we're looking at Rolling Stone's top 100 greatest TV series
Okay.
of all time. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 2 TV series. Okay,
Yeah.
they are separated by 10 positions in the top 100 list, but you just have to tell me which one is higher on the list.
Okay.
Which one scored better?
You don't want me to fail here, is what you're trying to do.
No, it
That's
doesn't
it.
matter. You do.
You set me
do
up
what
for
works
success.
you. Yes,
Because you're
we
drinking
are.
coffee. That's what.
Everyone's a winner.
So here we go. Here are the first 2 shows. It is Real Time with Bill Maher. Bill Maher.
Mark.
Right?
Mar.
Bill Maher.
Maher.
Sorry. Jeez. Well,
Jeez.
I don't watch his show. So Real Time with Bill Maher and Jeopardy. You need to tell me which of those ranked higher in the Rolling Stone top 100 list.
Jeopardy.
Jeopardy?
Yes.
That is
Oh,
incorrect.
that's a travesty.
Bill actually ranked higher. So Bill was ranked. What was Bill? He was 84th, and Jeopardy was 94th
Aw.
in that list. All right.
Okay.
So we're starting off, and we're starting
I
off
know.
near the bottom. We're going to climb
Okay.
to the top as we go. So it's going to be a little harder at the bottom. All right. The next one. What are we going with? We're going to go with either The Walking Dead, relatively
Okay.
new show, right? Or The Odd Couple from 1968.
Ooh.
Which one was ranked better, higher?
Oh my God, The Odd Couple?
You were saying The Odd Couple. And I want to remind, obviously our listeners, viewers, you guys can play along. Freaks, you're welcome to give her your advice on that.
When
moving
was
forward.
this written?
Walking Dead.
This was 2016, I think
I should be like
2016.
Googling this in the
Oh,
background.
yeah.
So we've got the so we're going with you said The Odd Couple, right?
Yeah.
Odd Couple, and that is
Oh.
correct. It's
Oh.
Odd Couple.
Dang.
Wow.
So very good. All right, here we go. Next one, we're gonna go with Roseanne or Beavis and Butthead. Maybe the same
Oh.
show. Who knows?
It could be.
I'm going to go with Roseanne.
You're gonna go with Roseanne, and the answer Roseanne is incorrect.
Oh.
Beavis-
Butthead.
Beavis and Butthead was 60th.
Yeah.
Roseanne is 70th. And I forgot to mention that The Odd Couple was 67, Walking Dead was 77. So, all right, next one. We're going to go with either the Bob Newhart Show or The Americans,
Ooh.
which I'm not familiar with, but is new, 2013 to 2018.
It's about Russians.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe.
Americans or Bob Newhart Show? What's higher? What do you think's higher? What do you guys think?
I keep going with these classics. I feel like it should be the Bob Newhart Show.
It should be.
It should be too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're saying the Bob Newhart Show?
Yeah.
That is incorrect. It is The Americans is 43rd. Bob Newhart Show 53.
That was a drinking game too. You used to play
It
it
was.
at Bob Newhart. You remember that?
Yeah, this is written
I don't
by
remember
20
that.
and 30 somethings.
All right, here we go. Next one. We got just a couple left. Either Law and Order. We're moving up now. We're getting near the top. So either Law and Order or Friends. What do you think was picked as a better TV series?
Easy.
Really? I would say Law and Order. Is that what people are thinking? Friends?
Friends. That's what I'm thinking.
What do you think, Karen? What's your answer?
Law and Order's been on for 100 years. I mean, that's like show never ends.
VORTEX 1.
It seems like 100 years. So, Karen, what is your answer? I need an answer. Law and Order or
Law and
Friends?
Order. I don't
You
hate
can go
me.
with Law and Order. That is incorrect.
Right. I think it's
You did tell
Friends,
me.
yes.
You're not. You don't watch that much TV. All right. So Friends was 26. Law and Order was 36. All right. We got two
I
left.
watch Law and Order.
Two left. We got Star Trek, the original Star Trek from the 1960s, or Saturday Night Live. Which of those was ranked higher?
I know what it should be, and I think I know
Star
what
Trek
went with.
or Saturday Night Live? What do you guys think?
I think I know.
Karen?
Star Trek.
She's going to say Star Trek?
I'm thinking
That's what
SNL.
I think.
It's a bigger audience.
All right. What's your answer, Karen? What are you going with? Star Trek?
Star Trek. I'm just
All right, Star Trek. So she's a Star Trek fan, but she'd be wrong. That is not correct.
I totally agree, but I think that's how they would have picked it too.
Saturday Night Live.
argumentative.
Saturday Night Live was 8th, and Star Trek was 18th.
I'm actually just trying to see how many I
So-
can get wrong.
Here we go. You are on a roll, girl. You are moving. You give hope to many people, right? Here we go. Finishing up. This is 1 and 2. One of these was ranked number 1. One of them was ranked number 2. And so you got to tell me which one was number 1. Is it The Sopranos or The Wire? Which was ranked
Wire.
number 1? The
Friends.
Sopranos?
Am I the only one that's never heard of The Wire?
It's that
No,
like
I don't. I've never heard of that either.
it's the Baltimore police detective.
Oh, okay.
It was on HBO for a while. See, I do watch TV.
All right, you do. That's
Sopranos.
good. You at least know.
I
So
remember
she's going to say
Sopranos.
Sopranos. And she would be correct. She finishes on a high note.
That's right.
All right.
Brady joined.
You did it. Did a great job. So you finished strong. That's what counts. Because, see, everyone's only going to remember the last one
Correct.
that you got perfectly correct and you got right.
Tell
So,
Dr. Karen what she's won, Phil.
That's right. You want a lot of pride. That's what you win on our show. Lots of pride. We give it out in handfuls. So thanks for playing along. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and take a short break. When we come back, we're gonna cover some of our WX resources with you on our new segment of crazy, wacky, believe it or not, weather stories. All right, and Brady just in time.
Hey, welcome, Brady.
Hey, Brady.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that.
Are your arms tired?
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know what that's
You were
referring to.
you were flying in, right?
I just flew in. And boy, my arms tired.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I've been working this crazy schedule the past couple weeks, like working till midnights for like 2 or 3 days a week and then flying back on Thursdays. So I'm here. I'm here now, and that's all that's
Wow.
important.
That's all that matters. Where's your drink? You need a drink after that, or did you already
Coffee.
drink on the plane? Coffee.
You know,
You're
when you
wild
always
and
have-
crazy, Karen.
when you always have a delay, you always have to drink. So I had a little something. So
Little
Yeah.
something, something. All right.
I drank a lot more with Urban Meyer being suspended for a couple, huh?
oh
Guess we won't talk about that.
yeah.
Yeah. So Karen Brady is an Ohio State graduate.
Got it.
Yes.
Hi, Karen.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Doing well. How about yourself? Tired.
Well,
She just ripped it up on the last question of our lightning round. She
she
nailed
did. What
that
was
one.
it? What was it?
Rolling Stone Top 100 all-time TV series, and the last question was which was number 1. It was 1 and 2, and it was either The Wire or The Sopranos, which was ranked number 1,
Sopranos.
and it was The Sopranos.
It was.
And,
Very good.
She nailed it, and you nailed
I
it.
want to know where the Partridge Family was in that list.
Wow.
Let me look.
Was it in there?
I got it right here. Let's see. Top 10 was Sopranos, The Wire, Breaking Bad, Mad Men, Seinfeld, The Simpsons, Twilight Zone, Saturday Night Live, All in the Family, and The Daily Show.
I don't know
Game
what
of
that
Thrones,
list.
is that not in there?
Game of Thrones is 12.
What? Oh, who is making this?
MASH was
list?
16.
Yeah, MASH should have been higher.
Wow.
Let's see, which one was I looking for again? Sesame
Partridge
Street 31.
Family.
Partridge Family.
Partridge Family. Good God, are we seriously looking that up? See if that's.
No, you don't.
I don't think that's
Don't
going to
worry.
make the list, but
Battlestar Galactica.
Gilligan's Island.
Office,
Yeah,
Office,
that's a good one,
Taxi,
too.
Fargo,
Bewitched.
Muppet Show,
Yeah.
Hill Street
Yeah.
Blues,
Oh, that was a great
Sex
one.
was
and the
good.
City, Happy Days,
Yeah.
Downtown Abbey.
Downton.
Downton.
Yeah.
What else?
He doesn't
30
care.
something, In Living Color, Dallas, The Jeffersons.
Oh, in living color. Holy cow.
Good Times.
That was a good one.
Good Times.
What about Hogan's
Dynamite.
Heroes? Hogan's Heroes was always one of my
Doctor
favorites.
Who.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Dick Van Dyke Show was on here. American Idol, Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, MS.
Yeah.
Ooh.
DK3.
Gunsmoke. The Golden Girls coming in at 98.
Oh.
And there is no, what was
What
we were
was
looking-
100?
Partridge Family.
No Partridge Family. Oh.
What was 100?
Eastbound and Down came in at 100.
Really?
No idea
Snuck
what
in.
that is.
Never heard of that.
Eastbound and Down. I think there was some comedy guy that was on that, if I'm correct. But-
We need a soundbite from the doc here, or what?
All right, yes. So we need a soundbite from you, Karen. We need you to say, hey, this is Dr. Karen Kosiba, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast, or you can say, Dr. Karen Kosiba, I'm not in the Dow right now. Or you can say, hey, coming to you live from the Dow, this is Dr. Karen Kosiba, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
That'd be a lie, though, wouldn't it?
It would be a lie, but they don't know.
Yeah.
They won't know.
It would totally be a lie. And you
Okay.
can see my front room.
So you can say whatever you want. We
The dog
only-
does not look this good inside.
Dow is big.
It's like, wow.
2,000
no.
square
It's
feet.
like a mobile home. It's like the worst thing to have in a tornado.
That's
We're driving a Dow mobile home down the highway.
With a big
All right.
awning.
So we'll be quiet, Karen. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, but just say you're
Wait,
on the
what am I saying
Stormfront.
again?
Just
Okay,
say
hold on.
you can just say, hey, this is Dr. Karen Kosiba. You're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Okay. Hi, this is Dr. Karen Kosiba. You're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Wow. Okay.
She's a pro
That's
because she
a-
got
that was
Stormfront
that
Freaks
was
podcast
perfect.
I
in
know.
one page.
Yeah,
was
I
perfect.
State your name.
I said it for that's what
I
kind
know
of
that's
made
what I
it easy.
started hoping for that.
We always say that because just about everybody always messes that up, and we have to take
Gary
about
England.
5
Smack
takes.
it up, flip it, rub it down. What was he saying?
He's got the
yes.
best
He was-
one, Gary England.
Yes.
Hey, it's Friday night, the big town, Loretta, jump back, don't look down. Hey, you're listening to the Stormfront Freak podcast. I don't know. Something like that. It was good.
Like,
That's crazy.
All right, so
Twice or 3 times too, which is crazy.
all right, so who's got who's got a WX resource to share?
I do.
I do.
Kim does.
Okay. And Maz, so you got this. I've got one as well, so I'm going to share one.
okay. All right. I'll put you last.
That's fine. And then, so coming out of that, we'll take one other quick break before we jump into our crazy weather stories segment.
Okay. So I'll let you close it out and go to the break.
That works. Okay.
Or
Who's got the weather stories? Or
I
the
do.
odd weather reports?
I've got one.
I have one.
We're gonna take. Brady.
I do
We'll
too,
take
but we'll
a
have
break before that.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we took out the weather discussion
Yeah.
part of it to shorten things up. So, and Karen, I should ask, you're gonna stick around and
Yeah.
make comments about everybody's? Do you have anything you want to add? Do you have a weather resource you want to add, or?
Not currently. During
You don't
field
have to.
projects,
Okay.
you could see our data online. It's really
Oh.
fun.
If you want to add that, you can.
Yeah, I don't know
Is
what's
it-
going to happen during this Argentina project, so I probably won't.
Is
Okay.
it just
Sometimes
numbers?
it
Okay.
Or,
No, it's radar data.
Just a
Oh,
bunch of data.
Good. And
A
one.
bunch of punch cards. You can go check out our punch cards.
27.65.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that number.
Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and count.
What episode
Count
are we
Maz.
on?
Or Maz, you just
All right.
Maz, you count
60.
yourself in.
Episode 60.
Yeah, we're in 60.
Ooh,
The big
60.
60.
Wow.
Oh, no.
You can count yourself in. I don't really know why I do that.
It sounds professional when you do it.
It does.
Now all the people live are like, "What?" He can count
The only
himself
problem
in.
is when I edit the video,
Oh yeah.
if it helps now that I play the applause, at least for me, but it's not going to help for Maz because it doesn't start on Maz unless he counts himself in. So why don't you do this? Count yourself in, Maz. Say, hey, welcome back. Let's talk. And I'll start the applause after you start your welcome back speech.
So let me say welcome back and then pause for the applause?
No, just say welcome back. I'll applause in the background.
All right.
Okay.
Right. So I'm counting then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Very good.
Yes.
I've finished my beer. I'm just letting you know. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome back. We are having a good time here. You really should be here on breaks. That's all I can say because we have a really good time. Hey, time now to find out what's happening in WX Resources. We're going to go ladies first. Kim, what do you have for us today?
Oh, well, guys, and I don't know, maybe before me you have this one already, but have you ever heard of the app WT Forecast?
No,
No,
I have
it's
not
not
heard.
good.
No.
Okay, all right. You guys are in for a treat on
Sweet.
this. Okay?
I'm so excited.
Are you excited? Okay. All right. So I'm going to try to share this, and you know how this goes with me sharing things, but we're going to try.
You got this, Kim. You got this.
Okay, I can do this.
I love how Kim, every time she shares her screen, she gives us a play-by-play as she's trying to figure it out. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. I'm going to go ahead and push this button, and now I'm going to see if this pulls up. And
Not going to push the skeleton button.
Don't push the red button. Yeah, don't push the red
Okay. All right. Don't jinx it. Okay. So, you can go to this at weatherforecasttracker1.com, and you can actually put this on your PC or whatever. You can do it on your phone too. But it's actually, and I hope this is the same site. Now, maybe I could be wrong on this. I feel bad. Maybe I screwed this up. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to switch gears. We're going to undo this. I want you guys to see. I don't think this is the right website.
That website looks cool. It looks like
wow. Well,
I loved
hey,
it.
you've got a new WX resource
And
to share.
and I don't know because I didn't put this on my PC, but I've got it on my phone. And I don't know how to share that on my phone, but I was going to try to be fancy and do it this way. But I'm going to stop sharing. And I'm going to show you through the camera. Okay. Tell me if you can see this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. If you download the app WTF or WT, it's
That's our show title.
guys, I swear the name of the app is capital WTF, and then it's
I love it.
ORECAST T forecast. You can say WTF forecast or whatever you want to say. Anyway, it's the cutest thing ever. So, did you hear that? Okay. So it's one of these apps where it tells you the weather, but it gives you it says something about the weather. So you just not only get your forecast, which is pretty accurate most of the time, but you can also, it talks to you and tells you what the weather's doing. So I brought up Kennesaw, Georgia, and it comes up and it says this.
It's pretty friggin' sweet outside. Hope you don't run into a bear with her cubs.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that? So it gives these crazy sayings. You can go in here and put on profanity. Okay, and we'll try to hope this is not a bad one. Should I avoid that one?
Get ready,
beats.
MJ.
No, do it.
Okay, all right, here we go.
Oh, man.
Hope
Okay.
you don't trip over your shoelaces and fall into a nest of spiders.
Okay, no, that wasn't profanity. Hold on here.
Let's get a
wasn't
good
bad.
one.
Shocking.
Go till we
That
get
was
something I have
mean.
to bleep.
Okay. All right, maybe this is going to work. It's the funnest thing I've ever heard in my life. My husband actually found this, and okay.
It's dope as fuck outside tonight.
It's what?
It's dope as fuck outside tonight.
It's dope as fuck.
That's
Wow.
not okay. Beep beep beep.
Yay!
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, it's dope as you know what outside tonight. Okay.
Wow.
So
We
it
got
gives
to
you-
sponsor
seriously,
that.
Yes, this is hilarious, you guys. It comes up with the craziest things you ever thought of. It tells you, instead of seeing your forecast, it tells you, but in a profanity laced way, if you want it that way, what the weather's like outside. So it
I
uses
love
the
my weather with
F-bomb.
profanity.
Anyway, so this is a cool app, and it's I think it's free because I went up, put my little thumb on it and did something. I don't know if I paid for it, but anyway, a cool one to go to. And WTF forecast. You'll love it. I swear
Cool.
you will.
All right.
And you
So
can turn it
double-
off so there's no profanity on it. You could also
You
make
can.
it just fun.
That's no fun.
Yeah,
That's
but it's
absolutely
different.
no fun.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how we're going to edit that, but yeah, that was a ton of fun.
I thought I was
Right.
prepared,
Live.
but obviously I wasn't.
Brady, what do you got?
All right, guys. So, as many of you know, the hurricane has been going on in near Hawaii. So mine is more of a tweet, and this is from this is called A Stadium View Inside the Eye. So basically, these are the hurricane hunters that are going inside of the eye of the hurricane. This was when it was a Category 5, and you can see. I mean.
Oh, wow.
It's not clear, there's a little bit of a clearing down there, but it's not completely clear in the eye. But then when they kind of pan up, you can see the bowl. I mean, and then
Oh, that's awesome.
the high level Cirrus is just not there. So it's crazy. I don't know if I'd ever want to do that. Fly a plane, into the eye of a hurricane. And I still to this day don't understand how they do that. But I guess I should go back and listen to our podcast with Warren Madden.
Warren.
That
Yeah.
would be good. Yeah.
He's like, been there, done that, done that, done that.
Yeah, which it's still every time I see that I'm like, oh my gosh, just insanity.
Just fly into the hurricane from the top, fly into the eye from the top, and just fly around a little bit, and then fly back out through the top, and
or you just stay in the eye, get like a good time lapse,
right until it dies out. And
What are you like Iron Man, Phil? How do you fly in and out like that?
Yeah, I am Iron Man. Didn't you know that?
Well, Iron Man, what do you have for us tonight?
All right, so I'm going to share with you guys. Hey, there is every year lately. This has been a great convention to go to, but it's the Indiana Chaser Con, the good old Indiana Chaser Con. If you go to www.ind for Indiana, indchasercon.com, you can find all about the 2018 Indiana Chaser Con. It's Saturday, November 17th. It's at the Hendricks County Convention Center near Indianapolis. It's going to be another great lineup of speakers. Let me go ahead and find the speakers they got lined up for. And Karen, we need to get you to come to this, I think, one of these years.
Yeah, that would be great.
We got Aaron Rigsby coming, Storm Chaser from Ohio. Skip Talbot's going to be there. We heard a little bit about him. Love to actually probably get him on the show at some point. But Jennifer, when she was on our Women in Chasing show Series 1, she talked a little bit. She chases with Skip, so he's going to be there. Dr. Nathan Hitchens, who's
went to school
professor.
with him.
Oh, did you really? Cool.
I did.
So he's going to be there, and then one of the folks that put it on, Joseph Cooper, he's going to be actually speaking. He co-owns TDS Weather, and then they also have Jeffrey Logsdon, who's a science and operations officer at the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. But those are the speakers right now. I'm going to look to see if I can find out what the prices are currently. If you're a student, you can register for $15. You got $15 if you're a student. That's easy. If early bird registration is open until August 31st for $20. After that, it moves up to $25, and then day of, even if it's available, is $35. So I just wanted to let everybody know about that. Every year has been a great thing. Joe and Beth put on a great show. But in Indiana Chaser Con, Saturday, November 17th, and my saying is, what the hell are you going to be doing on a Saturday in November anyway? You may as well make your way to Indianapolis and catch that. And we will be there as well. Stormfront Freaks will be there as well. So look for us there.
I'm a student of the world. Does that work?
Hey, that might count. I don't know. I don't know if you have to show a student ID or not, but
Doesn't
that's
count.
the scoop.
Doesn't
It's
count.
actual size.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's our WX resources. Some great resources for you. We will have links to all of those if you want to go to our show notes of episode 60. You can find the links to all of those things that we just got done talking about. The show notes are available a lot of times right on your phone if you're listening to us on your phone. Otherwise, go to stormfrontfreaks.com, pull up episode 60, and you'll be able to see the show notes and the links from there. So we're going to take our final break. You guys can all go ahead and refill your drink. When we come back, we are going to have this new crazy-ass Ripley's Believe It or Not weather segment that we just still are looking for a title for.
I've got a great one.
All right.
I can't
Good.
wait.
So final break. Karen, you still with us for another 10 minutes?
I am.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right. So let's figure out who's got crazy weather stories.
I do. Yeah.
I've got one. I don't know how crazy it is, but it's a video.
Maz, okay.
Wait, so it's a weather story? So
it's like a weather. It's like, think Ripley's Believe It or Not. Like, wow, did that someone said, now maybe it's true and maybe it's not. Maybe this happened in 1913 that someone said this crazy thing happened. And it's weather related. Obviously, that's kind of what we're shooting for. Is like a Ripley's Believe It or Not weather story. Like, wow, did that really happen? That's crazy, kind of a deal.
Okay.
Does that make sense? How to differentiate that from a weather fool?
Yeah.
This is a crazy weather story, right? Not like maybe someone did something stupid necessarily. It's more
yeah.
There was 80 inches of rain in one day.
Do you want us to like tell the whole story or just a little snippet, kind of?
Yeah, I mean we don't need to. If it gets too long, people will tune you out. Yeah. So just catch the exciting stuff and.
Well, then I don't know if I really have one, but I'll try.
Okay, so MJ's got one.
I got one.
Maz, Kim.
I think.
I've got one.
Brady, you got one too? Yeah, Brady's making this shit up. I don't know if that's always good when you just like pull in after a flight and go, yeah, I think I'll find one.
Hey, the first one was good. That one was good.
Where did you fly in from?
I flew in from DC.
You had to think about it.
It's like, where was I today?
It's been one of those.
It was in Hawaii. No, it wasn't in Hawaii. I was in.
All right, so we'll come back. I'll introduce that. I will go. I'll probably start with you.
Okay.
And then we'll just kind of go down the row, and I'll finish. And then MJ, flip it over to you for any listener responses.
Yeah, I got a couple.
And then I'll close it up. Okay.
Beauty.
All right. Here we go.
Okay.
In 3, 2. All right. Hey, welcome back. Hey, we're excited about this because it's another new segment we've got. We're kind of trying to come up with some new fun segments we're going to be doing, obviously weather related. And so I told all of our co-hosts that this is going to be a segment about weird, crazy, wacky weather stories. I said kind of think Ripley's Believe It or Not. Maybe it's from something in the 1800s. We don't even know if it's really true or not, but it's a crazy story, right? Something that had to do with weather. So I'm gonna turn this over to Kim to kind of kick us off with this to see what kind of crazy ass stories we can come up with tonight.
Okay, well, this is a story from some storms that moved through in Tennessee, and apparently this happened. Can you see the picture?
Oh wow.
Now, if anybody is familiar with traveling up Interstate 75, you will see this cross. And real close to it, you will see the Adult World store. So I was going through pictures and I saw that. At first, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. I mean, that's crazy,
So explain what are we looking at here?
So we're looking at an Adult World store, an adult store. Do you get my drift? Do you know what I mean by that?
No, not exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
A place where only adults can go or should go. Okay, 3 X's. Yes, 3 X's. Okay.
Now you're helping.
Karen, that's right. I forgot.
It's like a product they would sell.
Yes, exactly. And it's right off of 75. You're in Tennessee, and all of a sudden there's this big store. It's like out of nowhere, in the middle of nowhere. It's just bizarre.
It's like an outlet mall.
Yes, it is, and it's always crowded. And then, but I've never been in it. But then you're driving, and then real close to it, there's this huge cross, and apparently this cross is an attraction site. I don't know. People go here to see this cross, and so I'm just tooling through these pictures, and I see that I'm like. And for a second, I thought, "Oh my God, did that really happen?" So I was looking through it and reading it. And of course, it's photoshopped, but
yeah, I was gonna say I don't see any storm damage.
Yeah, there's yeah, exactly.
So the cross basically fell into the Adult World store and through the ceiling. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So people who are religious or whatever would say that they got what they deserve. They got this big cross falling into this.
Right. So Ripley's Believe It or Not, that would be a knot.
It's a knot. No, it's photoshopped.
That's true. All right, Maz, I'm going to flip it over to you. What kind of crazy weather story do you got?
Okay, so how many times have you heard, it's so hot in Arizona, and they go, oh, it's not. It's the humidity. It's not the heat. And since there's no humidity, it's not really that hot. Well, this was one of the hottest days I think they ever had in Phoenix. Let's see if I can pull this up here. Can you see that?
Nope.
Nope.
Can't see that. All righty.
Matt, this is only the second time Maz has ever tried to share his.
Hold on.
There we go.
Hold on. Now can you see it?
There we go. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to let this thing play, and let's just kind
I
of
already
hopefully
see
you can
it.
listen.
No, we're not going to be able to hear
I
it.
won't hear it, so you have to explain.
All right. So he's going through his temperatures here, and all of a sudden, hold on a minute. It's 270 degrees to 1,300 degrees. Now, this does happen to meteorologists from time to time.
And like down here in Ahwathkee, it's 1,270 degrees.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a
And
balmy
he's handling-
63 in Mesa. But
he's
up in
handling
Cape
it very
Creek,
well.
it's
He's like
29.6.
Wickenburg is a total loss. You know,
my
he goes, I'm
gosh.
pretty sure metal like boils at
That's
2,000 degrees. You know,
The
so
sun
Is he
crashed
saying
onto
that?
Cape
Is he
Creek.
saying that?
yeah,
He
he's
is
actually
talking about it. Okay.
he's handling it very well, and that is pretty much the bulk of his cast. He's stuck on that graphic, and he said, "I'm not your dad, but I'd
Oh,
get out
shoot.
if I were you guys." So anyway,
Wow.
I
Oh
just
my
wanted to
gosh, that's
share
awful.
that with you there.
Been there,
Anyway,
been
okay.
there.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well,
wow.
interesting. Let's go, Brady. What do you got, Brady?
Yeah, so this happened actually pretty recently, back in July of 2013, actually in LA. Basically, what happened was there was a couple of freak cyclones. They lasted about 85 minutes in time, and they went over the water in such a way that they were actually able to pick up sharks. So they were able to pick up sharks. And then the cyclones moved over land and then caused
All right, you're done.
Was-
You're done. You're done. You know, here's the
that
thing.
period, it's
Yeah,
caused
you're
about
done.
$2 million
You're
in
done.
damage.
All right, so I will say this.
Was Ian Ziering in this?
Because
Was he watching?
at first, you know, I thought you might be actually trying to steal my weird and wacky weather story, because yours, I could tell you were making your crap up, because you're like, and there was like this.
Was that
anyway?
the in-flight movie?
I've got a real one.
No.
Okay, and this is because Sharknado was just on, right?
It was. We watched
come
all of them.
But so here's what happened. There's actually some truth to that. That when a tornado does pass over a body of water, like a lake, river, or pond, some crazy, you know, it can pick things up. This is from mentalfloss.com. I was going to say WTF.com, but no, this is mentalfloss.com. And so this happened. Library of Congress reports that fish fell on a town in Louisiana back in 1947 after a rambunctious storm. Not sharks, okay, but there were
Right.
actually fish falling from the sky down in Louisiana. And then halfway around the world, it says a tornado caused thousands of frogs to rain from the sky on a town in Serbia in 2005. So these are recent stories of again, not sharks, not something that big.
In theory,
So-
it's possible if you get a strong enough tornado.
Small sharks.
Right.
All the skepticism
Sure.
is-
So I had to jump in
shark.
front of Brady because he got the Gong Show hook on that. But MJ, I will still finish with you. I think you got one to share.
Well, actually, that was mine, but on that same
Sharknado.
on that same page with Mental Floss, 5 weird but real weather events.
Oh, okay.
You talk about another phenomenon that was kind of interesting, which is that intense heat can keep planes from flying, from taking off. And you sometimes have weather, causing flight delays. Brady just had a delay of some kind. Don't know if it was weather related, but
Mechanical.
okay. But they talk about Phoenix, Arizona as being one place where this happens. When they get to temperatures to 120 degrees and more, the hot air being less dense, it can prevent planes from getting the lift that they need to take off. So anyway, another interesting, phenomena.
Well, it could slow you down. Hey, Dina might know something about that.
Very much,
I
very
suppose.
true.
All right. So, hey, if you want to check out some of these bizarre, strange stories, or whatever Maz threw out there, which was some meteorologist with some bad data, if you want to see those links,
That was real.
And,
Bill, do you want me to send you my link?
no, I don't. We'll
Link
be
that on the
okay.
side.
Hey, everybody, if they really care, they can go watch Sharknado. All right. So, hey, MJ, we're going to jump to you. What do you got for any listener comments or questions?
Well, we always appreciate it when people check in with us, and we had a few of them that did last week. On Facebook, Timothy Veltman says, I really enjoyed watching the taping on YouTube on Thursday night. Looking forward to what Karen Kosiba has to say in the next podcast.
We are too.
And I know that Timothy was watching live, so appreciate that. Keep up the great lineup of guests, he says. And then he sent us a weather meme that we might be able to use when we do that segment again. So thanks, Timothy.
Cool.
Joe Russell checked in on Twitter, and he gave us an update. He was watching the Perseids meteor shower, and he had some statistics of all of them. He had seen quite a few, but the point he made is that he was listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast while he was watching. So, thank you, Joe.
Perfect.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Ray Leichner checked in on Twitter, and he was doing some kind of an interview on a local PBS station wearing his Stormfront Freaks Weather Fools concert tour T-shirt.
Lightning round. Lightning round.
Nice.
Oh, sorry, was it the light? It was the lightning round.
Yeah.
Lightning round
Nice.
tour.
Sorry,
Told
yeah.
you.
Good
Told you.
job.
Advertisement.
Favorite part of the show. Telling you.
So thanks for checking in, everybody.
Well, good. Well, I don't think I've got my script to close us out, but on that note, which is I think usually what I say, right? On that note, what do I say?
Something about all clear and
No, that's the very end.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I've been doing this for 60 shows.
You know what,
but
Phil? You make our guests do it, ad hoc. Let's just go. You just
That's
gotta
true.
do it ad hoc.
So here's the scoop. So hey, thanks for listening. Right, we appreciate you listening or watching the show. I always tell a friend, and we also encourage you guys subscribe to the show, because what's great about subscribing to the podcast or on YouTube, subscribing to it, is it just means you're going to get notified when we get a new episode released and sent out. You're going to find out right away, oh, great, there's a new show. It'll show up right in your inbox, so you can listen to it right away and be one of the first to get it if you subscribe. So you can go to your podcast app and you just kind of hit the subscribe button, but works just like a newspaper or magazine. Just get it right away. So
it doesn't mean we get paid when they like us.
You never get paid. No, we don't operate that way. And I do want to do this. We had a great time tonight, of course, with our guest Karen Kosiba. So Karen, thank you for joining us tonight. And we got a treat in 2 weeks. Okay, we're going to do the show again in 2 weeks. Because I don't have a script, I don't have the date in front of me, but it's 2 weeks from what's today? August 23rd. So 2 weeks after August 23rd, we're going to do another show.
September 6th.
Thank you. September 6th. It's going to be episode 61, and we're going to have the joy. We have an Aussie joining us. We've had some Canadians, of course, plenty of Americans. We've had a few Canadians, but we have an Aussie joining us. Storm Chaser Dan Shaw is going to be joining us, and I think he's going to actually be in Australia, so we'll have to check on that. But we've had a lot of people ask that we need to get Dan Shaw on the show, and so we're looking forward to having him on the next one. So,
He'll be drinking coffee for sure.
Yeah.
Foster's.
That's right. big old Foster's. That's so horrible that we think so. All right, because everyone thinks we probably drink what? Budweiser?
Miller, whatever.
Miller, yeah, whatever that is.
Nick Ultra.
All right, so I think that about does it. So I'm going to say for Brady, who was a half-timer tonight, and Kim and Karen and Maz and MJ, we didn't even see MJ, we just heard him. I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear, and we're going to be excited to catch you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Good night, everybody.
Good weekend.
All right, so hey, Karen, thank you so much.
Thanks,
You were
Karen.
awesome tonight.
So Karen,
Sorry.
you gotta watch, because as Kim introduces the guests, it's always fun to watch their facial expressions. Because you were like, that's
Oh, really? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I told lies?
no, not Kim. No. Anyway, okay.
No, you could. Who knows? I mean, sometimes those bios, I just throw shit together and we'll see what sticks.
Oh, Phil. Oh, my God.
No, I usually try to use reputable sources, and I always send it out to the guests. Like Karen had it ahead of time, so if there was something
you
wrong,
did?
I hope
All
she-
right.
I did. You didn't get it? I did. I sent you the agenda with when I said, hey, we need to also set up a sound check.
Yeah.
No, I think you said that
too.
to me. I think you actually said that to me instead.
Oh, Brady.
Anyway, why was there something wrong on there,
No,
Karen?
it's always weird.
Oh, hearing about your
I
accolades,
remember.
No,
how
just-
great you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that
No.
was fun. You
It is
did a
good
great
offering.
job. We had a good time with you.
Yeah,
and so
thanks, Karen.
I will follow up with you probably after the weekend. So sometime next week, I'll send you the links to the once we edit everything, because we got to edit the video, and we got to edit Kim's part out, and we got to edit Naz's part out.
We don't have
You
to.
guys have to get that app. I'm telling you, it is a trip.
No,
That
I
was
want
funny.
to. I want to take over that app. I want to buy them
Yeah.
out and make the Stormfront Freaks weather app.
And I have to tell you, the guy that developed this app, he lives in California. He said he got tired of boring weather. He got
Right.
tired of looking at the weather app,
Well,
and
it's
it's all in San
California.
Diego. It's San Diego, and it's like he said. So he thought, why not make it more fun? And so he developed this to where it says all this crazy stuff to you when you turn, you go to your app.
Let's have Kim's WTF phrase of the week. How about that?
Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
podcast.
I'm gonna tell him I got $200 if he'll let me buy that app from him. I'll give him $200.
Oh, shoot.
Big advertisement,
Richard,
Todd. You may
Richard,
not
one
be
of our
wrong.
regular viewers, already downloaded the app. He said.
There we
Oh,
go.
really? Oh, it's
Wow.
hilarious. Oh my god.
That's good.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, guys.
Well, hey, thank you. I will redefine what that Ripley's Believe It or Not segment is supposed to be. A little bit, because we were. I don't know.